the 5 secrets to a successful Camino. So the first secret, which I think is the most important, it will make or break, it will change your complete experience of the Camino de Santiago, and it is picking your route. For me, this was really easy. I love the beach. I'm a beach gal. So I picked a route which had the most towns along the coastline. So this was the Portuguese way. And out of my 6 days of walking, I had, I'd say 2.5 days where I was either temporarily by a beach or I spent 1 day fully at a beach. So that's, for me personally, I picked the Portuguese way for that reason. But you may want to pick the French way if you want to have a very, what is it called? If you want to have a route which is easier, with less hills, with more people along the way, a busier route, then you might want to go with the French way. The French way is also the most popular way. You might want to, if you are sporty and you like hiking and you you swaying there puts me off. You can just sit there, it's fine. If you are more sporty and you love hiking and you're really fit, you might want to go for Camino del Norte, which is a much more difficult route. So when you look up all the different routes, you can look at the difficulties, because a lot of Camino guides have the difficulty ratings of the different routes, and you can pick that way. You can pick by whichever area screams to you the most, whatever you're fascinated by. For example, like I said, for me, I love the beach, so the Portuguese way was the only way that I wanted to consider. The Portuguese way was the only way that I considered because of my love for the beach. The second secret, which is not so much of a secret if you've done a bit of research about Camino de Santiago, it is to pack light, and the recommended weight would be 10% of your body weight. So for me, what was that for me? I went a little bit overweight, and I'm not gonna lie, it'll be a struggle for those going for longer than me. I did 6 days of walking, and in total I was in Spain for 8 days. If you're doing a 30-day trek, good luck to you. It probably will be a little bit over 10%. You'll just have to put in the extra effort to really, really minimize what you're bringing with you. But I think mine was around 7 kilos, and luckily along your route your bag will get a bit lighter, for example when you're eating the snacks and when you finish the water, etc, etc. But the people that I did meet along the way, which their bags were heavier, they had a lot more equipment on them, they did get knee pains, hip pains, whilst I didn't experience any of that. And I do truly believe that was because I kept my backpack really light. Dun, 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 dun. The third secret to a successful Camino is to pick the way that you want to book your accommodation. I'm a very go with the flow, lazy girl type. So I just went and I would book my accommodation every day the night before. I'm not an early riser, so waking up at 5 in the morning, setting off by 6, and then reaching the hostels first in order for there to be space was not going to be the route for me, because naturally I'm just not an early bird. So for me, my way was to, when I got to a hostel, I would then go on booking.com, I would find a hostel for the next town I was going to be in for the next day, and I would book it that way. I do have to say that when you do it that way, you might not get the absolute cheapest and best hostels. You might get the cheapest, but it's not the best. And if you want the best, it might be more expensive. So you do have to weigh up those options. Or if you are a super organized person, which if you are, I strive to be like you one day, you can pre-plan your trip and look at all the towns that you're going to be in every day and pre-book all your accommodations for the whole trip. I definitely met people that did it that way. They had their trips organized and planned months and months and months before, or they even took like over a year to plan this trip. Mine was very last minute, very go with the flow. And then I also met people that really planned their trip in advance, but they planned it in a way where they knew exactly where they were going to go. They woke up really, really early and they reached those hostels that have spaces that you can't pre-book. Next. The fourth secret to a successful Camino is to walk at your own pace. I need to big up my dad for this recommendation, and it's the fact that I'm naturally a fast walker. In my day-to-day life, if I walk slow, it tires me out. My legs hurt. It's really uncomfortable to walk slowly for me. So because I'm a naturally fast walker, my dad really told me to, just because I'm walking far distances and I've got a heavy backpack on, not to then walk really slowly to try make it easier for me, because then it's just unnatural for my body. So I definitely did have to pace myself and not start off too fast, because you are walking long distances and you do have that extra weight on your back. But you have to find a pace which you find comfortable. And when you do meet people along the way and you start chatting away, etc., then you might end up walking slower with them. But I'm talking about the moments when you're walking by yourself. Walk at a pace that is comfortable for you. If it's slower, then walk slower. If you naturally walk faster, don't be walking super fast, but just keep it in mind that walking slower might actually be more uncomfortable for you. The fifth secret and final secret, or should I give you one more? Maybe I'll give you one more at the end. But the fifth secret is to be very open-minded. I did this trip solo. I went by myself. Funnily enough, I really wanted to be by myself on this trip, and I truly felt like I was never alone, because you meet so many people along the way. And I'd say to be open-minded. You're going to meet a lot of people along the way. You're going to meet people on your walk. You're going to meet people in hostels. You're going to meet people every day. Be open-minded. Be open to get to know other people. Everyone has their own amazing story. And what I found is that every single person that I met, even though you come from different walks of life, you're different ages, there's solo people, there's couples, there's families, there's groups of retired friends that have done this trip. It is, you just meet the most incredible people, but you all have something in common, which is the fact that you've all wanted to be there at this time doing the Camino de Santiago. And so just be open-minded. People will talk to you. You might end up talking to people first. And the best thing about this, though, is even though you're going to meet people along the way and you're going to be walking and talking, never feel obliged that you have to stay with them, because everyone is on their own Camino. And this was going to be my final extra point, which is this is your Camino de Santiago. This is your Camino. Your Camino. Your Camino. And this is your walk. So do it in the way that you want to do it. Do it in the way that you feel comfortable, whether it is taking breaks, more breaks, less breaks, wherever you want to eat. You don't have to be stuck with the people that you meet. You can just have a chat with them and then walk on. You can stop with them, eat with them. They can walk on. You can stay and chill. It's very no strings attached. So just make sure you do it at your own pace. It's your walk. If you want to take a break, I met a girl which was doing Camino del Norte, which she found to be difficult. So halfway through, she ended up taking a break. She ended up flying to Granada, where she used to live, spent a few days there, and then she picked up from a different spot on the Portuguese way where I met her. So it's your walk, do it your way, because that's how you're going to have the most special experience.